Noem doubling down on the dog story. It's not the only controversial episode from her book. She's also refusing to back down from accusations that she made up a meeting with North Korean President Kim Jong Un, something that is demonstrably untrue.
You write about North Korean leader Kim Jong Un. You've been questioned several times on this in the last couple of days because you've issued a retraction. You said that it shouldn't have been in the book, this passage, that it was a mistake. Why shouldn't it have been in the book? Is it untrue?
No, what I said is that when this was pointed out, that we made an adjustment to what the content was in the book. I've met many world leaders around the world. I've been to the DMZ. I've been traveling for years and years talking to world leaders. Just that name should not be in the book. And I'm not going to discuss those personal meetings.
The gymnastics of vocabulary. NewsNation senior political contributor George Will is here. What is it with people who want the most powerful job in the world who are unable to say either I was wrong or I'm sorry or take responsibility?
If you say you're sorry in American life, anything can be open to you after that. If Nixon had said, what a mistake at Watergate, he'd have finished his term. Instead, Kristi Noem goes on television. She's playing the victim. A lot of Americans think Cricket was the victim, the dog she shot.
Yes.
Leaving that aside. And she says, asked, did you meet with the dictator of North Korea? She says, I went to the demilitarized zone. That's really not responsive.
Small differences, not taking responsibility. And look, you make a good point about if you ask for forgiveness, the American people are remarkably forgiving and love comeback stories. For example, Bill Clinton. Take a listen.
I did have a relationship with Ms. Lewinsky that was not appropriate. In fact, it was wrong. It constituted a critical lapse in judgment and a personal failure on my part for which I am solely and completely responsible.
When you're looking to Bill Clinton for moral clarity and how it should be done, we've all crossed the Rubicon. What is it, though, about Republicans who have now adopted the Democratic sort of philosophy or I don't even know if you could call it philosophy, the Democratic Playbook of becoming victims?
Well, it's unbecoming of Republicans. They say, truthfully, academia disdains us. They say, truthfully, the media distorts it. They say, truthfully, that Hollywood caricatures us. So what? The American people don't want to hear the complaint. It is, are we allowed to say manliness on television these days?
I believe so. It's Twitter's going to burn us, but that's fine.
It's unmanly to behave this way. The American people don't want to hear people saying, I want to be the leader of the free world, but I'm being picked upon, and I'm sad.
Is it I guess you could even say it's unpresidential, maybe even.
Yes.
Maybe another way of putting it. The person I think who probably created this in the most obvious way is Donald Trump, who, to your point, may have a point when he says he's being picked on unfairly as it relates to his many trials. Here we go.
I don't mind being Nelson Mandela because I'm doing it for a reason. I'm doing it for a reason. Doing it for a reason. We got to save our country from these fascists. They always said Lincoln, nobody got treated worse than Lincoln. I believe I am treated worse. This is a continuation of the single greatest witch hunt of all time. We have a rogue judge.
These Democrats want you dead. You realize that?
Yeah, because I'm the one that turns things around. I'm the one that had the best economy in history. I'm the one that had the best border in history. I'm the one that had the low energy prices, and we were respected all over the world. And
Donald Trump has an uncanny understanding of the American public and of his supporters. Why does it work?
Because it is so audacious. That is because, I mean, what he just said, their best economy in history, not true. Best border, I don't know what that means. But he has this kind of forthrightness, or what is considered forthrightness on his part. People say, at least we know where he stands. And that's a big deal in politics these days, or in any day.
Oh, well, okay, fair enough. Where does this go from here to bring it back to our opening segment of the trial? Donald Trump has been expert at playing the victim, and it's helped him. Every time he's been indicted, he's gone out and said all 4 times, I am being persecuted, I am Mandela, I've been treating worse than Lincoln, and every time his poll numbers go up. Legal observers by any fair estimation, will tell you that the prosecution's case for in New York is going terribly. If he is acquitted or if he is a hung jury, doesn't that prove his point that he is the victim of some type of political witch hunt?
Yes, and his point is right. The fact is, he's being prosecuted by a man who ran for office saying, I'll get Trump. He didn't specify about what. He's trying to get Trump for interfering in a federal election in which Trump was a candidate. That's sort of what candidates do, is try and influence federal elections. And they're saying he lied in his bookkeeping. Well, it's not a public company, it's his company. So he was lying to himself while trying to influence an election in which he's running. I mean, it does not pass the laugh test.
Well, we'll see what the jury says. Mr. Will, always good to see you, sir. Thanks for watching. Go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.